All right, we're back in the shed. It's been a little while. It's also back to being below freezing outside, so that sucks, but got to do what we got to do. And what we got to do right now is do the valve cover gasket set along with replacing our PCV valves here, here, here for getting ready for the catch can test. So that's what we'll do over the next couple days and get that test going. Okay, got the cowl pretty much out. I feel like I have everything as apart as I can. I'm clearly missing some bolts somewhere though, because I can't get it to move. So here's where we're at. Plastic piece obviously gone. You can see I could do to probably vacuum this out while I'm in here. Also, that cabin air filter, pretty nasty. But anyway, so I got all of these out. Wiper motor and everything's obviously out. There's a split second box that drives the extra injectors. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to keep looking. The only thing I could think of are these firewall bolts, but that doesn't really make sense to me because they're not really attached to the cowl at all in any way. So I don't know if anybody has any suggestions for some hidden ones that I might be missing. Let me know. All right, so we got the cowl out completely. Wasn't hard, maybe took 30 minutes. At the end, it was just adhesive that was stuck in there. I just had to pry it a little bit. So now this is what we're left with. So much more room for activities. Really wish I could just leave it out of the car, but anyway, you can see I had some much needed cleaning to do anyway on this thing. So it's a good thing I'm taking everything apart. This is so strange to me. This just is this like, just kind of sits here and swivels and hangs out. Anyway, yeah, so next up, taking the valve cover off. Well, I don't know how long this has been like this. But I did not expect to see this when I pulled this out. So both of these pieces were just sitting down in this valley right here. Okay, finally got the valve cover off. Way more difficult than I expected just because of the stupid the vacuum pump on the rear, where there's almost nowhere to get your fingers in there to get it off. But we got it. A couple interesting things to note. First off, valve cover looks pretty clean in here. Not too bad, well maintained. The gasket is actually softer than I expected it to still be, but it's kind of shitty still, so I do expect that was the issue. There's the vacuum pump off. So then if we look at the top of the engine now, the thing to note is that is coolant, and it doesn't look like it's gotten, focus again, doesn't look like it's gotten anywhere other than right there, and likely that happened when I took the valve cover off, but still a little strange. I know that's like a coolant passage right there, but it must have been leaking a little bit. So obviously do not want coolant mixing with the oil in your valve train, so I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen again. But yeah, other than that, things look pretty good. Again, almost 80,000 miles on this, so there's definitely, you know, some wear on the cam lobes, but nothing abnormal. Really nothing strange, as far as I can tell. Okay, so last time out, I did get the valve cover off finally. It was a huge pain to get the last bolt on the vacuum pump. So that took a long time, but got it, and got the valve cover off. But once I did that, I really want to go through and clean some things. I have not cleaned this car in a long time, and I don't think I've ever done anything to the engine bay. So shop vac coming out. Gonna vacuum all the leaves and stuff up, and then I also got a bunch of brake clean and other stuff to at least do a little bit to the engine bay before I put it all back together. And although we're in the shed today, it's actually beautiful here in Northeast Ohio. It's about 65 degrees right now, which is shocking. So we're gonna enjoy it. So cheers to a beautiful Sunday. Yeah, so I think the O-ring on this has been leaking too. It looks like there's some seepage here. So I'll have to see if I have another O-ring. Got all the new gaskets installed, and also brand new PCV valves. So clean this thing up a little bit. I'd love to grab a spare one and get it powder coated whenever I decide to start making the car look nice, but not really my priority right now. So there we go. Reinstall this thing and then get the catch cans installed for the first part of the test. All right, engine bay is slowly coming back together. But while we are in all this, I figured I'd do plugs. It's been a solid 25,000 miles on these plugs, maybe 30 actually. And that's big turbo, the auxiliary fueling, over 400 wheel horsepower, and they look great. Other than being rich, because I run it fairly rich when I can, or I should say because I can. But yeah, it's time to put some new ones in. Car was running fine when these came out. Doesn't even really look like the gap has opened up at all on them, which is nice. These I have gapped at 26 thousandths. I had originally gapped mine at, try to focus. I had originally gapped mine at 28 thousandths, and 30,000 miles, probably opened up a little bit, just looking at them. Let's see. But not too bad. So yeah, we're good to go. Okay, it turned into a little bit of a late night tonight, but engine bay is all back together. Car's ready to go. I have not put either of the catch cans on yet, so that's going to be the next step, is fitting those out, figuring out any modifications I need to make. Yeah, so all back together. One weird thing was this new PCV valve came at a 90-degree angle, and the stock one is just straight out. At least the stock one for a 14 ATS. So This one would normally come straight out like that, and instead pointing up this way. The line still fits fine. You know, you have the flex hose in it, so it's no big deal. But just in case it causes an issue with either of the catch can setups, I did test this just sucking and blowing, and it seems to be working fine. So I'm going to keep this around, and just in case I need it. So I finally got around to editing the video that you just watched. It's been about a month since the install actually happened. I've just been crazy busy with all of the projects going on together kind of at the same time. So there will be this video dropping and one more. I'm going to try to get it edited this weekend and then post that up. And that one's going to be around the fuel systems that I've talked about and mentioned in the past. A lot of people are looking forward to those coming out, and I have big news in the next video on the progress of that. But until then, like, subscribe, or don't, and I'll see you next time.